All right. Hello, everyone. Welcome to the next episode of the Last Note podcast. I am your host, Noah, with Preston yet again, coming to you from some remote locations. I'm in Houston, Texas, working with a local high school band in Iowa Colony and having a great time. We just wrapped up day one. Preston's, where are you? OU, Norman,
I'm in Yukon right now. I'm
UConn,
just moved
chilling.
out of my apartment today, and so
Fire.
I'm living while Emily's family is still around. I'm living at home for a little bit, and then once they start going back, I'll move into her house, and then I start teaching Deer Creek drumline next week.
Nice, nice. But yeah, so DCI Southwestern Championships just happened on Saturday in San Antonio. I'm sure most of you know. This episode's more going to be kind of a prediction and kind of a recap on what we both saw. I know Preston watched a bunch of the streams. I was there in person, running around in the lots and doing the shows, filming a bunch of groups for the Battery Archive. But it was a great weekend. It was a great weekend for drums. There's a lot of good playing going on. There's a lot of good horn lines. There's a lot of the talent level and the activity is
Mhm.
it's at a peak, I think, right now. It's really I feel like it's recovering from the like 2018-19 era. I feel like we're finally starting to get like there's really all the world class groups have talent. Like
Yeah,
there's slim margins is what
yeah,
essentially.
even though we're putting names next to numbers, and that's what judging all is, it doesn't matter whether you're marching with the one we put at number one, or a judge puts it number one, or one judge puts it last, or if whatever it may be. Like this is the top tier of the marching arts, and no matter what chord is, it's at the highest level you can possibly be.
Oh yeah, for sure. And like the amount of like prospective members I saw in the lots at Genesis, even at some of the lower groups, like it, dude, there was sometimes 300 people at some of these lots. It was insane just to see the love for the activity and how many people could potentially be in it one day. So yeah, I guess I'll kind of like I don't know kickstart this, but just from an overall like recap standpoint, we obviously know Boston got the win. I thought it was well deserved. I watched the top 8 or 9 groups inside, and I thought they did great. I love the show. First time seeing it in person live. That like sound system in the back, it's awesome. The Mahler hammer in the Alamo Dome was crazy, loud. I was all get out. It was the loud. It was probably the loudest show of the night, in my opinion. So Blue Coats second, awesome show. The shocker, in my opinion, though, is SCV getting third, jumping Blue Devils,
Yep.
Crown, Phantom Regiment. But that show, hot take, I could definitely see that one medal. I loved it in person.
It's a great show. I think uh like I could see it not being a lot of people's cup of tea, but and clearly the judges found something they liked with it. I enjoyed it, and it reminded me kind of uh you were talking about this earlier, some of those, just the crunchiness of some of those chords and how well that brass line is playing all that. It reminds me of like what is it, 2016, the Force of Nature, where
Yeah,
it's just all these crunchy chords as they come in. Like there's that storm section at the very beginning after
yeah.
their opener, and it's just these like siren like crunchy chords. It's so cool. And this kind of brought me back to listening to that, and I love that version of Vanguard.
It even has the some little like Babylon snippets in it.
Hmm.
In terms of like the energy and the way it drives. I think their drum breaks like at 200 something. Some of those moments, like the opening snare lick. Oh my gosh, it's filthy, disgusting, nasty. Okay, well, so that way we don't take this thing too long. Let's just kind of go bottom. I put 21 because the Spartans.
Yep.
We got to put them in here somewhere. So, who do you have in 21st? Do you think?
21st, I'm gonna go ahead and put Spartans. They're the
Okay.
new kid on the block. They're in world class for the first. They're getting scored in world class for the first time, and that's not a dock to how they're doing. That's just kind of how the game is. They've moved up a class, but now everything's being looked at under a harsher microscope. It's new level. That being said, they still sound great. I remember
Yeah.
watching them in person the past 2 years. It's like they like and I don't like using the term for an open class core because they are a drum corps. They are, and they very well deserve to be in world class. I'm glad they got moved up. But it's a new environment if you haven't competed in it before. So I think that's what it's going to be for them. And then I also do think Seattle Cascades is doing really well this year,
Agree.
and I think that'll also play a factor in that.
Yeah, for sure. I have Seattle Cascades as my 21st. Not from um oh Cas there it is. I have Cascades just from the fact of mostly just GE perspective. I think Spartans really tops a lot of people in that cat. I think they're gonna be one of the shockers in the at least the GE department at Indy. Just in terms of they have the sheer numbers too. Like I know their color guard's putting out a ton of people, um, and just that sheer like force and effect on the field. I think that can be enough to potentially move them ahead of some people as well. Who do you have in 20th?
20th is where I'd have Cascades, and again, I just think they've been in this environment before. They they're used to competing in world class. It they've been kind of in this place quite a bit, and so it's where they normally are, and and they're doing really well this year too. Like
Yeah,
they just as a whole, all their sections are really melding. Like I remember listening to their show, just even on the stream, and even comparing it to like the last couple shows I've heard from them, or yeah, last couple shows. It's been 2 years that they've been back. Um, it's just the improvement they've had. I think will keep them above last.
I agree with that. Cascades on the is on the up. I would 100% say that. After coming back in 23 for sure. Um, and on 20th, I have Spartans. Just for the fact, like I said earlier, the GE. I think that their blend as a core has been sounding world class for a while. Just the way that they produce on the field, the way it looks very professional. I think that's enough to at least just barely. I think it's gonna be really close between them and Cascades. For honestly, because I do like Cascades uniforms are a low key a top 10 uniform in DCI. I saw them in person and I was like, those are
They look good.
they look really really good, very very slick. I know.
There's been a couple years that like whenever when cores first come back, like I remember Spirit's uniforms in 23, I was like, it looks like they're wearing a t-shirt and shorts.
Yeah.
Whereas like and then 24, they look like a drum corps again. That's what I think about Cascades. Like, oh, they just look better, and I think that has, everyone says you shouldn't judge a book by its cover, but I think a lot of the times your uniform and just how well your core looks in it can give viewers an impression of it. And I think they're coming off really strong.
I would agree. Who do you have in, or I guess I'll go first this time. In 19th, I have Music City. So this is like my kind of first bold take, but I think um well, I'll save that spiel for a minute. But I think Music City, honestly, another show that's pretty good. Um I just feel that the content is kind of hit or miss sometimes just throughout the whole thing. But it definitely has its moments where it's like it'll catch your eye. Their brass is playing pretty well, I thought. Um, a lot of people got hit in the dome just from like at least front to back alignment things. And I think that can be said a lot about this like 13 to 20 group. Spartans obviously wasn't there, but I noticed a lot of the groups. It was just some of the youth. I think a little bit in those groups, just not knowing what a dome sounds like. Obviously, being the first one in the dome or one of the first ones in the dome of the day, not the best environment. But I do think they're putting out something that's pretty awesome on the field.
Hmm.
What about you? Who you got 19?
I had to think about this one for a bit, but when it came down to deciding, I think at 19, I'm going to put the Academy.
Oh, okay.
And here's my reasoning is just as I started thinking about it before I even went back to check the shows and stuff, I was just going off of what I remembered from when I watched them because from Genesis kind of through the we were making our way through the uh, bottom first half of the lineup. I had kind of had time to just listen to all of them. I didn't get to watch a whole lot because I was also packing up and moving during that time, but there would be times where cores would like I hear something like, "Ooh, I really like that. I want to see what's going on," and it would really draw in my attention to it. And I think I found myself doing that with the Academy the least. And again, that's not maybe just what my happenstance of a situation turned out to be. And I may, if I had been able to watch it more, that may change my opinion of it. But there was just it was still a good show. It was one of those. It didn't stick out to me as much as other cores did.
Yeah, I would agree with that. And that actually, my 18th place was the Academy, just for the exact same reasons. I think their overall clarity was slightly better than Music City, just from an in-person standpoint. But I thought they had a couple of moments that hit in terms of front to back alignment that I could see a slight bit more maturity from the academy. Is very slight, but I just kind of had that felt that presence, and I had them just barely over Music City. So, who do you have in 18th?
18th, I put Music City because I think they just had more moments where I was drawn to it. Like I really enjoyed Music City's opener too.
I did too.
Like it's just it falls in line with like one of those. It's just like it's just a good opener.
Yeah,
It's good source music.
yeah,
It's gonna it's classic. Like it's not a lot of cores, a lot of bands have done it, but it's one of those. It's like you can't go wrong with it. And it just really it got me into the show, and then I'd keep watching it. Again, I want to do some more watches through it, and if we do some like a when it gets closer to finals week, kind of after Allentown, if we do another thing like this, it'll my opinions will probably be shifted.
yeah,
But right now, that's kind of how I where
yeah,
I'm at.
for sure. Um, yeah, I agree with that. Okay, in 17th, I have this is where I have Genesis. Just for and this is like I mean, it's obviously home team bias. Like I'm not gonna sit here and say it's not. But I think from a start to finish production, they have one of the most eye-catching shows, just from a prop standpoint, uniform standpoint, show like concept. It just kind of reels you into this like surround sound environment, and it just, I mean, I was hooked from the moment it started. Just the whole like, it's the Crown 19 Open. That's that the first piece that they play. I forgot the name of it, but it's the exact same source material. And Crown 19 is one of the first shows I ever saw live in person, and it just, I mean, when it first chord hit, I was like, oh yeah, this is it. And so I loved it. And then Battery's playing great. Um, I think that is one of the things that's going to separate Genesis from the rest. Is I think their battery and percussion ensemble package will elevate them throughout towards the end of the season. I think some more of the moments that are tougher are going to get more credited by the end. I think they also got hit by the dome hard in terms of the some of the tuning drum to drum. I think some of it got a little muddy in terms of like where okay, I was sitting halfway up, but I don't know if the judge could actually read some of the moments that they had. even though they were pretty clean. But
Mhm.
I think getting them in a drier environment will help. And obviously, it showed yesterday when they went to Bedford. I mean, they had 2 point jump and a big increase in percussion was a big part of that. So I think as the season goes on and we get some more of these drier stadium environments, I think that's where you'll see Genesis start to excel as a core and as a percussion section. But I'll save that for the drum trophy part. What about you?
Yeah, I'm gonna have that's exactly where I have Genesis too. And um this is kind of like the middle ground for me because if I'm going with my full bias, I'm putting them higher.
Yeah, 100%. Me too.
If I'm being the cynical realist, I would have put him at 19th because the the box of drum core is super hard to break through, and the bottom three cores have not changed place in the past like 5 years of competition.
Oh,
And it's to me, it's like I get it in a sense that they're a young core and the guard is doing really well with what they can do, but anyone can tell you the numbers are just there's less guard members on the field than there are in some of those like even some of the cores in the same like academy like in Music City they just have bigger guards.
yeah.
And
That's
it's
G.
one of
That's
those things
G.
where visual like just how the sheer number of flags that you have doing
That's what I was saying with
is
Spartans.
it's gonna affect the scores in some way.
It will.
But in this ranking is me hoping that when it comes finals week, the judges aren't trying to keep a box that each caption judge is judging how they should.
Yeah, and I think if they can be rewarded for, I know the general effect number, but I think if like the color guard caption, brass caption,
Mhm.
percussion caption, if the actual content of what they're doing is going to be rewarded, I think that they'll be where we think they should be.
Yeah,
But
that's
if
exactly
it's
that.
not, if it's going to get slotted, then because of the numbers, then it is what it is. But I will stand 10 toes down because they're doing some of the hardest stuff out there for this range of cores. I mean, I I mean we both saw them in person. What was it? 2 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago,
Yeah,
and
and even then, the
even then they
growth.
were sounding great. Like the drum line, even dude, from when we saw them to now, holy crap, they've gotten better.
Mhm.
Like
And
you can't tell me they should have gotten the same number 3 nights in a row.
yeah, that's crazy. Like, in no way, shape, or form should that even be like. I would almost, and this will be my little tangent of this for now. I may do it again later when we talk about drums again, but any there should not be any show that the number stays the same from one show to the next, and especially not three in a row, because there's no way that they played exactly the same. Now, I mean, it's not going
I
down.
get
Like
it
it's
because of
not going down,
margins. I,
not going down is good, but
and I look at it too. The only kind of like soft spot I have for it, if you look at the margins between the groups, they're slightly different, but I still think it's a little bit of a coincidence that it's in that number every time.
Mhm.
Like I get the margins moving. That's kind of like okay, a judge is going to put you in that kind of margin. Okay, if he wants to set the top number and set the bottom number and then work all in between that, okay. But it just I don't know. It seems kind of weird that it's that number every time. All right, let's keep moving. In 16th, I had Pacific Crest. This is kind of a hot take one ish. Um, it's not my cup of tea, honestly. Like it's good. It's done really well. It's just not my flavor. But I think they're playing great as a core. But as a personal drum corps fan, it's just not my favorite. So,
Mhm.
what about you? Who do you have in 16th?
16th, same thing for me. It's kind of how it's the same thing how I feel with the academy, where there's not, it just doesn't grab my attention in the way that some other cores do. But they're in 16th where they're at because it is a lot technically better. Like it just happens to be in a better spot as a core
Yeah,
with all the fundamentals. Like the intonation's better, the drums are cleaner. Like it or at least it's translating as a full show.
yeah.
Um, Here, I'll get the next one started up so that way we
Okay.
can
Get the
hit
next one started up. We're gonna do, I don't know how we're gonna do all this, but
that.
well, we still have. Hold on. Let me see how much time we have on this one.
Mine says less than a minute.
Is it actually?
Yeah.
Okay. And just make me a co-host where I can share the screen. This is definitely gonna. We're gonna have to speed run this because I want to talk about drums.
Yeah.
Or
We can do like
even
chunks at a time.
do what?
We can do like three places at a time and then talk
That's what
about
that's what we need to do. So let's do like we'll do 15 through 13, 10 through 12, like 6 through 9, and then the top four. And then
perfect.
the drums, I think it'll kind of shape itself quick. All right, just send me that other link.
All right, I'll go ahead and leave this one so I can do that.
All right. Hey, we still got 7 minutes on this one.
Bro, what?
Yeah, hop back on this. We're gonna knock out those next two chunks.
Okay.
Okay, bye.
That's crazy because it gave me the whole countdown in the corner and everything and the little
Yeah, it's
warning.
we got 6 minutes and 41 seconds. So
Okay, we can do this next time.
hold on. There we go. Okay. All right, we're back after some technical difficulties. So we're gonna do like kind of chunks now that we've kind of yapped for so long. We kind of need to do a couple chunks in a row. Who do you have in 15th? We'll like go in order and then we'll talk about these like three in a row.
15th, I have um okay. I have Madison Scouts at 15,
Okay.
and then I have Spirit at 14, and Crossman's my 13th.
Yeah. Okay. I had Scouts in 15th, Crossman in 14th, Splana in 13th. Okay. So the thing that distinguished these, Crossman would have been 15th if it wouldn't have been for the uniforms. Because the uniforms, I think, are a place, 100%. I think I'm very like torn on what the show is about. Like I can't understand it just from the simple fact that there's these good looking uniforms, and then it's like cross wall. I got it just the whole like this the design package doesn't resonate with me really at all. But I think their cleanliness alone will get them to where they are,
Mhm.
in my opinion. Because I think their drum line's playing great. Saw them in person, throwing down. I really like their new staff. I really like the vibe they have going there.
Yeah.
Um, I know the members are grinding. We got some beadsmen in there, couple. Um, but man, they sounded good at the end of the day. And then I think scouts, okay. It's the same thing about the uniform. It just the design package didn't really hit me as well. Now Splana, that one was like easy for me to like get it. I mean, obviously, Rocket. I mean, who doesn't know that? But just the
Mhm.
vibe that it had, I feel like there's some moments that are the thing that's going to separate them from my 12th place group. And the thing that's putting them over the other two, I think, is their drum line. I think the drum line's playing absolutely. I think they're a top. I mean, we'll talk about Perk later, but they're going to be up there on my list. So, just in terms of their clarity, their book, I think they're playing great. So, what about you? What do you think about this?
Uh, okay, so 15th with Scouts, similar thing for me. I really enjoyed their show last year. I think as a core, their finals berth they made at 12th was very much deserved. I enjoyed it a lot, especially their brass line. I had a friend who I knew for a long time that marched in that brass line, and they very well deserved it. It was awesome to see. Um, and having watched the show this year, it was kind of like watching 19 Vanguard after 18 Vanguard. It's like the
Yeah,
expectation is so high, and it just like it isn't. It's one of those things where it's like you just can't replicate.
yeah.
And so that's where I'm kind of at with Scouts right now. And then Splint at 14, I'm with you. Very straightforward design on that, and I do like that a lot. I think it would for me it was just a little on the gimmicky side, and I think that might just be where my opinion of it is just below Crossman's.
I can get
But
behind that.
it's doing what it like they're buying into it really well, and that just might be my opinion thing. And like you said, they're playing extremely well,
For
and
battery,
I'm very glad
incredible.
that they've had the comeback that they've had. Uh, and then Crossman, I have them at 13th, and this is also kind of where I differ. Is I kind of see where they're going with the show. It's a very like I think an open to interpretation type thing. Definitely not as open as Phantoms is.
Yeah, we'll talk about that.
But I get to watch their show at their like community preview back in June,
Yeah,
and got to watch it again here at like on the stream for the San Antonio show. And kind of a similar thing is I got to see the growth of the 3 weeks between when I saw Genesis the first time and the second time. I got to see the growth here, and I think I really just like the simplicity of like it's called crosswalking, and then the core literally makes its way across the field.
and that's
Like the
that's
start
the
and the
part I
mark.
get that part, but I'm like, I know there's something else to it. Like, am I overthinking the show? Like, I don't know.
I think it's one of those that if you think about it, depending on how hard you like to think about shows or how much you want to take in your own interpretation, is whether you like or don't like it.
Yeah,
And that's the thing with those type of shows is you when you leave it up to the audience's interpretation, I feel like you're more likely to it's a big
rubs
gamble.
people the right way and the wrong way.
Yeah, because if you give it to them straightforward, and I think that's where it is with Spanish show, you give it to them straightforward what it's supposed to be, it's a lot easier for
They're
people
gonna
to.
like it or they're not. So
But I like it, and I like how it's kind of telling and this may be a completely wrong interpretation from what the designers told the core members, but it starts off with them in these perfectly straight crossing lines going toward the destination, the other side of the field, and then them getting there,
we have
kind of
less than a
they
minute.
the battery little goes through a curved path, like they go from going in a straight line to start kind of veering a little less than straight, and they kind of stop in the middle of the field for the ballad.
Right back from our normal little pause when we have to switch the meeting. So, Preston, where were we at with where you were talking about Crossman, right?
Yeah, so like I understand it as like the crosswalking, and it kind of it to me it shows a path where it's not always a straight line to get to the destination, whereas they start in a literal marching formation in the end zone, and then like as the opener goes on, they're on the left side of the field, and then there's like a part where the battery's literally marching through the brass. They make a road for them, and they're like it becomes like a curved path, like it's not a straight line anymore, and it kind of I don't know, maybe it resembles life's little curves that it takes. It's not just a direct line there. And then the ballad, they're literally like stalled in the middle of the field. Like sometimes life's gonna get you, you're just gonna hit a wall. and that's where the
Yeah.
ballad is. And eventually they make their way over to their big grand thing at the end. You get the Thurston lick at the end. The
Yep.
God. I went crazy whenever I saw that live. It's so fun.
Yeah.
Um, but and yeah, that's on the other side of the field. And I think it's just really it was just it's a very
It's a good show.
it's a easy show for me just because I relate to it
Yeah.
in my way.
It's very technically good.
Mhm.
I
But yeah,
I think
they're throwing down.
I'm a show overthinker. So when they tell me the title, I'm like, okay, how many times can I find this title in the show? Like crosswalking, I'm like, I know there's something more. And so I'm like, I don't think I just can sit back and just enjoy it all the time. So there's one that I was able to do that with that was super blunt, and we'll get to that here in a minute. But okay, so I guess I'll go first on my thing right here. So I have BK in 12th. We're kind of jumping into the finals tier. I think it's gonna be really close between them and Splana. Personally, I think it could come down to who has a better drum line that day. Really could be that close. I have BK, I have Blue Stars in 11th, and then I have the Colt. Oh wait, no, sorry, no, that was right. Okay, yeah, the Colts in 10th. So this, yeah, that's my next tier, and I'll pretty much the thing that separates these three. Um, in my opinion, it's the percussion sections. I think the designs are all really close. I BK's uniforms, okay. I'm okay with them. They look better in person than I thought they would. Originally, I was like, I was not a fan, but when I saw them in person, I was like, okay, they're not as bad. Um, I like the show concept, simple, easy to understand, done really well. Their brass is incredible this year. I think they're really starting to push back into the not maybe not quite the 16 days, 15, 16 days yet, but I mean, it's not far off. I could definitely see a BK rise in the future for sure.
Mhm.
Blue Stars, I mean, spectator sport, man. I mean, it was just so fun to watch. I mean, it felt literally like you were in a Wii Sports game the whole time. And I was intrigued from like just seeing all the different colors and all the flash, and it was just really it was fun to watch. It was the most like I don't think I smiled more in any show than I did in Blue Stars, just from some of the moments that they had in there. And then Colts, I it's so good, man. I think their battery, and I'll talk about this more later, but their battery is incredible. And seeing them in the lot and on the field, they had some moments that really just it took my breath away a little bit just with how they were playing. And I think that honestly, that those moments could be enough to propel them higher. I know they finished 12th at San Antonio, but I think their drum line could really push them above these next couple groups, in my opinion. And we're not going based off this much of the slotting here. If you can't
Yeah.
tell. This is very personalized, opinion based in terms of what we think about the show. This is raw. So
It's half of how we believe the scores will happen and
yeah.
half of what we want to happen.
Yeah, but mostly what we want to happen. That's as a fan, I this is what I want to happen. Like perfect world, Genesis makes finals, but we all know realistically not right now. But
Not yet. Not yet.
not yet. A couple years
They're
from now,
coming.
they're coming. Promise. Okay, who do you have in this category pod right here?
All right, this is where the feathers get ruffled.
Uh-oh.
Wait for it. In 12th place, Troop. And 11th, BK.
Okay.
And in 10th, Colts.
Okay.
Now I'm gonna work back from 10 to 12 because
You gotta, oh, you gotta explain that.
Colts, I agree with you. They are like it's another one of those like they're the whole core is
It's so well done.
that like where they're with the like the show design may be lacking right now, and like what's putting them at 12th in the actual scores. I think the actual cleanliness of the group will start to propel them forward.
It's like last year, man. Same thing.
Mhm.
Yeah.
11th with BK. I made fun of their show at first,
I
but
did.
it's a fun watch. And I'm also gonna say this: they're one of the cores that's taking advantage of the new rule where you can have a woodwind soloist. And I mean this in not necessarily any kind of offense way, but I feel like it will that DCI would not want to have a group be almost out of finals after just implementing that rule, and they're one of the few cores that chose to use it. So I think that alone will keep them ahead of 12th place.
Hot to
As
inter.
well as the core also being like doing really well. I really enjoy where that oboe solo starts and then that whole core moment that follows it. That's my favorite part of their show.
Yeah.
But I do think this is my one spot where I think there's going to be some DCI politics that kind of uh, influence some stuff.
Yeah.
And
Then
then
what about the troopers, man?
Troopers at 12th.
Keep in mind, we have not talked about any of this at all. So this is all first time me hearing.
I am tired of this 4 year saga thing we got going on that
it.
started in really,
Yeah.
honestly, the Western shows started back in 18. 19 was a little different, but
Mm,
I,
hot
I
take.
think I'm so tired of the same thing from Troopers
Yeah.
that they're playing well. Their drum lines, of course, slamming. Their brass is gonna sound good. I think I'm just so
It's
burnt
a
out
personal bias.
of the yeah, this is a straight personal bias for me, and I have a gut feeling that there's going to be one of those judges in at least one of the finals week shows that is tired of the show.
It's valid. Okay. So I'll go with, or let's go you first. Who do you have in 7, 8, 9?
So let's see. I have at 9 I have the Cavaliers.
Okay.
At 8 I have Mandarins, and at 7 is where I have Blue Stars.
Dang. Okay.
So I'll start with Cavaliers. Uh, their drums are good. Like that's just straight up.
Yeah.
The Cavaliers drums, they are never not going to be great.
Yeah.
And even if
They'll be high on my other list too.
even if like their scores aren't like immediately reflective of what 23 was, and yeah, they had their change last year and that caused some stuff. They're throwing down this year. It's the Cavaliers. Their drums are
So
not
it's
ever
cool.
going to be the problem.
No.
I have felt myself even in 23 and 24 and I again this year, I feel like the rest of the brass especially it just leaves me wanting.
Like it's nothing's like sign of times.
Mhm. And
Days.
I was a big fan of what was the show in the railroad
Yeah.
wish like
Yeah.
that time. I loved that show. That
Yeah.
was one of my favorite listens.
It was great.
And maybe it's unfair of me to be comparing back and again that's pre-COVID and this is post-COVID and everyone's got their recoveries to make, but like nothing's been hitting me from the
And
uh
like the sheer
brass like they used to.
like I kind of like the design in 23. And I thought the drum book was shaped really well around it. So I feel like that's the only reason I really liked it, honestly.
Oh, I liked 23 show quite a bit, but
Just because I
their
was
drum
listening to drums the whole time.
carried the show.
Yeah. Okay. What about mandarins?
Uh, Mandarins, similar thing where it's just they're playing clean, they're playing super good. I'm kind of like figure still I need to watch some more of it and just kind of figure out what this show's really about, especially with like the past two shows I felt like were a little more straightforward to me. Like Sinnerman was pretty straightforward, not yeah, Sinnerman. I keep wanting to say Sinners,
Yeah.
but Sinnerman was pretty straightforward.
The
And
New
then I
Orleans
like
show.
the New Orleans show, like that was
That one was
those
great.
are both like pretty clear cut. Like, oh, this is what it's kind of portraying to me. I haven't picked it up yet with man, so maybe I just need one more watch and it'll just click.
Yeah.
But they're playing super good. I like the Mapes book. I like it a lot.
I feel like there's like they could have handled like 5% more. But we'll talk about that on the perk side.
Hmm.
And then Blue Star.
Blue Star, same thing with you. I want to reward them for it. Is like this is one of my favorite Blue Star shows I've watched in a long time.
Agreed.
Like this was so fun to watch.
Like
And
I'll
and
still hate the design of it, but
mhm.
from a spectator watching it,
And
like
again, this is
I
kind of
would,
where it's
I would not want to be playing it personally. Like this is hot take personal me. I would not want to be doing that every day, but watching it just once, oh dude, loved it.
and I think this is where whenever you do something gimmicky like this, it's very objective
Exactly.
to the watcher. It's like I didn't necessarily like the gimmick, or I liked Splana. Let me say that, but like it didn't. I didn't watch it with the same type of joy that I watched Blue Stars with. That's just the thing with gimmicky things. Is sometimes they hit, sometimes they don't hit as hard. And like Blue Stars, I was just, dang, this is fun. And of course, I was watching for my buddy Dill on the xylophone, and trying to get some uh, shots of him too. But it's a fun show. And it's like, oh, that color guard person has a bicycle helmet. That's fun. Like
Yeah.
just imagine you running around all day on the field and you get to have a helmet on. Like
Yeah.
I never worry about a drop ever because I got a helmet on.
Yeah. Such a fun show. Okay. So ninth, I have the Mandarins. In eighth, I have the Troopers. And seventh, I have the Cavaliers. I think the perk book will carry them just because I think they're that good. We'll see if that actually holds true. TBD. Troopers, I'm kind of the opposite. I kind of like it. I'm a big Mauler 2 guy. One of my favorite pieces of all time.
Smaller too is not that is a good listen. Like
That closer always hit me in the soul watching it in person. It was great. It was one of the few shows that made me tear up a little bit because I haven't ever heard Mahler 2 in a drum corps setting. I've only heard it in orchestra. So it just really, it was beautiful. Mandarins, I'm kind of on the same thing. It's like, I don't really know what it's about, but they're playing great. Like, I must fall, like all the things falling. I'm okay. I kind of get that.
mhm.
But I could definitely see, like, I think for me, Blue Stars is kind of like my wild card in all of this. I don't know where they're going to end up. I have them at 11th, but I could easily see them in ninth or 8th. And it could just be a show of the night deal. So,
Yeah.
all right, I'll kick us off here. To make sure. Yep. Okay. Sixth, I have, and I don't think this will happen, but this is my hot take.
Oh man.
I have Devils in sixth. I have Crown in fifth. Regiment in fourth. Just pure hot take. Okay, Blue Devils, their members are great. I think that I am not a fan of the show. There's two moments in there I really like. There's a moment in the closer and a moment in the opener that I like. But the some of the design elements in the middle left me wonder. So it's just it is what it is. I think it's going to be enough to keep them in that. I mean, they're going to probably be higher than that come finals night. I'm sure they'll probably be in contention for a medal. But from my personal opinion, this is probably my least favorite Blue Devils show out of the lot since the. I wasn't a big 19 guy even when they won, but from a personal standpoint, I think it's the weakest one since then. So, and then Crown in fifth. This is one of my favorite shows. I think it's really clear. in points of like what they're doing and how they're doing it. Their brass is incredible. Um, the drum line is incredibly shocking this year. They are playing really well. We'll talk about this on the drum side of it, but low key a sleeper on the drum captions. But Regiment, I was talking with someone about this. That I think their lack of a title could potentially hurt them in the GE department from them getting that medal. Just
Mhm.
because, I mean, playing great, moving great is general effect. But without, and there's dancing going on with the guard. I feel like there's not a direction to point it fully or enough, like on the field, if that makes sense. Like I feel like you're getting pulled in a bunch of different directions. It's all done amazing, but it's pulled so many places that I feel like I'm thinking about too many things and not following one or two ideas that could potentially be the theme, if that makes sense.
Mhm.
And I mean, they're playing the forces of nature opener again, just like SCV did in 16. It's incredible.
Mhm.
Play the crap out of it, dude. They hit that wall, and I mean, the whole crowd has shot up, dude. It was crazy. It was a wall of sound. And then the closer, they faked everyone out when they added that little bit there. But yeah, I think that's how it's gonna shake. If perfect world me judging overall core, I think that's how it would shake out. But what about you?
Uh, I'm gonna go with my more realistic on this part of it,
Yeah, I had the
which most of it's what I want, but this is where I'm gonna go. Also, for the sake of some differentiation, I'm gonna go with some realistic parts. So with I'm gonna do Crown at sixth,
okay.
which it's lower than I want them, but I think it's where it'll be.
I could also definitely see that as well.
I'm gonna do Phantom at fifth
What about
and
fourth?
Vanguard at fourth.
Okay.
And I'll start with that. Um, and really more of the explanation will be whenever I talk about Blue Devils. Um, but I think as much as I love that they cracked the top three, and I really do enjoy their show, I think that there's only so much that can be
Maxed out of that show.
yeah, that can peak at a certain point, and I'm afraid it's getting there too early,
It's kind of like
that other cores are gonna have a chance to hop it.
it's like the Crown 22 peak.
Hmm.
I think they got third at San Antonio with the Right Here
Yeah.
Right Now show. I mean, they beat Boston in Denton
Yeah.
that year, and it like not even close. And then by the end, it was Crown in fourth,
Yep.
and then Boston in second.
But I very much enjoy the show a lot. Especially, being music majors when we learn a lot about just
Oh yeah.
enjoying this like literally avant-garde music
Yeah.
and kind of finding the beauty in what to a normal or first-time listener would be a little off-putting. Uh, but and then Regiment at fifth, same thing. I think having the no name will I like I like that it's geared towards the spectators for that and not necessarily just for the judges. And so I think having that audience first perspective is really good. But GE is GE and it runs the show. And unfortunately, whenever there's no solidified thing for your, what is it, two GE judges, three, however many it is,
I think four. Four.
four? Well, if you're looking at four different judges' interpretations of what it is, and you don't have a set kind of if you don't have a control variable in that, I think it could work for you, but it also could very well not work. And I think that's unfortunately what's going to happen is just the opinions are going to be so different, it's not going to add up in a at as profitable of a way. And then Crown at sixth, I don't want to necessarily put them there, but I really like their show. It's one of my favorite Crown shows in the past while. I will say this, and this just might be me placing them there just due to this. And when we did our reaction video a few weeks ago, they didn't have the closer on yet, at least in the video that we watched.
Yeah, they did.
Um, and then
The,
they
clo-
have that O Fortuna closer,
the closure leaves a
and
lot to be desired.
mm, they have the O Fortuna closer. Awesome, love it, and it's this nice like dark minor-esque chord, and you're in this feel. And then I feel like it just the mood switch to the classic Crown and B flat major ending
Uh,
happens too fast.
I agree.
It pulls me out of that dark way too quickly.
The same
And
the same thing happened in part two with that trombone quint or the quintet, I think, or quartet. And then all of a sudden it just switches to this major. Like, I mean, when they were pulling the trombones and the glisses in the Alamo Dome, I mean, I'm talking about gut wrenchingly loud. Just it was insane. And then all of a sudden it's like, huh? Like what happened? You know,
and all it takes is one of those just one awkward transition can pull you out of the moment. And I think that's what'll happen if they don't make adjustments, which they very well could. This is the time where adjustments are made.
they've got something cooking.
And I'm sure they didn't. I bet by Allentown, I probably have them higher.
Oh yeah.
But if I were saying right now, as it is, this is where I would put them going into finals week.
All right. Who you got in the top three?
All right, top three. Number three, Blue Devils. Number two, Boston Crusaders.
And then
And number one, Bluecoats.
I guess I'll let me get mine too. So I have Vanguard in third. I have Boston in second, and then I have Coats in first as well. I guess I'll start. So Vanguard just hits me whenever I watch it live. Just like Preston was saying, I think it. I I do fear that they have a little bit of the peak, midseason peak upon them. Um, I don't know what else they could do with that. But dude, I noticed this. Let's hold on. Where is this? So where is it? In the guard recaps, look how far Vanguard was. They're in eighth.
Oof.
So talk about room to grow.
True, yeah.
That was the one caption, and I mean, and look, and even visual proficiency first and fifth. There's room right there. Like I mean, there's some captions. I mean, fifth. I mean, if a couple of these go their way, I don't know. I mean, that's 91, a point and a half. You start adding it up a little bit, it's close between them and Boston. That's the one thing that left me
Mhm.
like the show itself may peak, but I think the members itself that show can get a lot cleaner. And then that could honestly propel them to be right there. I feel like there's a clear gap, at least in my head. I know the recap was really close between Devils and SEV on Saturday. I feel like there's going to be a clear distinction at some point, just from a show perspective. And then Boston in second, I feel like this one could go either way, depending on the run of the night. I feel like Bluecoats didn't have their best run.
Yeah.
I felt like the dome hurt them, especially in some of the side chaining things that they're doing. In terms of how much audio and stuff they have going around the field, it's just a lot. And I think that like in Lucas Oil, that's a dry environment. Like they're gonna get
Yeah. That dome's too big to dome affect them.
yeah, it's not a metal box. So I feel like they'll get the benefit of the doubt there, and I feel like their GE is just higher than Boston's at the end of it. Like Boston's gonna win the Zingali and color guard, but I think Coates will win the general effect. Probably the visual. I feel like they'll win those captions, even if Boston does take drums, which we'll talk about in a minute. Um, I still feel like that's kind of the order I think it'll end up in. What about you?
Yeah, so Devils at three. This is where I'll be real with the politics again. They had the soprano sax, right?
Dude, the soprano sax is too much. It sounds like a screamer on
Mhm.
every note.
I I'm not a fan of it, but I think it's gonna be the thing that you guys just voted on, which was really controversial. You don't want to put it like almost out of finals at the same time. You want to show that it you can continue it, so you want to make it in the top three. And if Blue Devils is the only one, then and as of right now, they're not competing for first.
Yeah.
Like
I don't
I think we can all safely say
there's a
that
clear
the race for first is between Boston and Blue Devils.
yeah,
But
100%.
I think Blue Devils will literally Blue Devil their way to third place.
It's
And
gonna
I
be like Ghost Light, except they're not gonna win.
mm,
What about
like
Boston?
it's one of those just one of those situations. With Boston, I liked the show a lot more than I thought I would.
I did too.
It's kind of the same thing with I was talking about with Drip, where it was a pleasant surprise.
Yep.
Uh, a lot of like the drums are so cool. Like you were saying, the hammers, it's awesome.
Yeah.
It's a very cool show. Like I and Jose is throwing down. I might add.
Well,
It's so cool to see the guy who marched between us on a snare line now on Boston squad
dude,
line.
I have a picture of him. He was signing a kid's monster can in the subs lot for Boston.
That is drum core.
Bro,
That
I'm
is
like,
drum core.
this dude just, I mean, I was just sitting there and I was like, dang, bro. Like, just sitting there watching it. But, oh man, I feel like
It's
we're definitely gonna have to do our drum one separate.
yeah.
That's okay. We can continue talking about this. I'll give kind of a sneak peek. My drum order is very different than my um, top 12 order.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
A really top 20 order, in my opinion. But I'll save that for whenever we do the drum one late. We'll probably do drum one later.
And yeah, with Coates in first, I think them having I really like how they're using those props. That's some really cool GE. Just how like it's called the observer effect, and literally how you turn those props, depending on your point of view, is it you see them differently. Like that's pretty much GE on a plate
Oh,
served up for you.
that's got
And
that's got
I
20 points written all over in that final.
I love drumming. I love that piece. I got to play it all the way through my junior year, and
So
it was one of the hardest things I ever had to do because it's just so mentally taxing. But it's one of the coolest things I've ever seen put together. And I remember specifically watching um, the first Drumline AV video go up on YouTube of their drumline. I was like, oh, I'll take a watch. I was in a hotel room in Vegas, and the very first thing is their whole drumming intro, and it's like, I because I knew it, I was able to like kind of hear every entrance, and I loved how just throughout the battery
crazy.
split
It's
between it, and then hearing the rest of the core bring out the third movement,
uh,
and just hearing it across a different medium of it not being just percussion, it was so cool,
yes.
and the nerd in me just loves it, and I think, again, I think they just had a dome run,
Yeah.
and that's how the scores are. I think Coates is going to go back to back.
I agree with that. And this is a hot take, but I was not a fan of 24. It didn't ever hit me. Yeah, I get it, changes everything, but like
Mhm.
I never I could never piece it all together. This show I can piece it together so well. And I mean the nerd in me is coming out every single time.
I liked 24, and it had some cool moments, and like
It's
I absolutely respected the heck out of the opener where it's just boom and then nothing, and
like
then boom another just clean tech. That's whether you find it, whether you find the show good or not, you respect that because it's
oh
just
yeah, dude,
space is the hardest thing for a musician.
yeah. And you're
But I like this show on a whole new level.
oh yeah, this show's great. I feel like this is their best one since. I mean,
Blue coats for me.
since 16. This is easily their best. I'd probably put it above 16. It's probably right there with Tilt.
That's high praise.
I mean, I'd put it there just in terms of what the blue coats have done. I'm not comparing it like all time. I'm just saying from like a blue coats show, I feel like it's their best one since 14. I mean, 19 was also really good, but I feel like at 19, 14, and 25 are in a category.
Yeah.
And then I would say like 22's right after that. I mean, even 15, 15's great too. Like, there's a bunch of really good shows. And I feel like this is one of their staples. Like, it feels like Blue Coats. Like, the Garden show, I thought was too much.
Yeah.
I thought it was too far.
It they started a trend with 22 where it's like this crazy acid trip, and it's like, okay, this is definitely a way to go. And then
It started with Lucy.
yeah.
Like the black and white circled triptych uniforms. It's like, okay. The keytar was cool though. So
Like that's getting one of the good of those one of those iconic things. It's like you had the guitar solo with Blue Coats in 22. You have the Casey Claw with the
yeah,
Cavaliers in 23.
you had the blue coat stabs in 24, and then there's a couple moments from all those shows. I mean, the glitch in Boston
Oh yeah.
with
Well,
the
then you also have Vanguard coming back.
yeah.
Just straight up that like them coming back and just taking the trophy again. Like, all right, we're back.
Yeah. I It's gonna be fun to see how this shakes out. I feel like we were actually a lot further off than I thought we would be in terms of because I feel like we see a lot of things the same way. In terms
Well,
of,
and even then, like some of the stuff is far off. Everything is within the same category. Like all
yeah,
of our top six is the same, the bottom seven's the same, and then 13 through 16 is the same, 17 through 21 is the same. It's just,
yeah. It's just personal preferences, you know.
and again, we almost caught ourselves slotting here a little bit too, just because there's the boxes, and I
Yeah.
hate doing that, but at the same time,
But there is like I mean it comes down to numbers.
it's the reality of the game. Like the cores that have been around longer, that have had the alumni bases, that have just made themselves known. Like the best people want to go march there.
Yeah, and it is what it is. But I think there's definitely going to be. I'm more excited for um, the 7 through 12 battle than I am the top. Really, like I mean, I think there's some very. But the only one I think that is really solid is like Mandarins. I feel really good about where they're at on my list. Um, but I feel like Cavaliers and Troopers is a battle. Colts, Blue Stars, and BK feels very tight. Um, but I feel like Mandarins is like the threshold, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
So, and then who knows? Maybe Crown pulls something out and goes up and gets a medal. Would not surprise me. But they're I mean,
I imagine at the very least they're gonna add some kind of longer sustain at the end because like it's Crown. They
dude,
gotta hold a note for a
there's
long time.
some of these brass scores, dude. Like, okay, there's no way. But I mean, this one I agree with. This one I agree with. These three I thought were better, just in terms of like pure content. And
Hmm.
that's hard to say because I know Crown is going to come out and play it more in tune than everyone, you know. And I would have said that whenever they played Saturday. I mean, that's the one that hit me in the soul the most because it was in tune, you know. But you got to have in tune and
Yeah.
content, And dude, Boston and Blue Coat, like dude, the Boston thing with they're playing the other person's horn. Like,
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
and some of the stuff, like even some of the Blue Coats moments. Now I wouldn't put them. I wouldn't have put Phantom's brass that low. There's this one. No, I don't agree with that. But I thought it should have been a little different. But I can get behind the top three. But I would have had Crown Right up in there. Just
Well, I do think it's very interesting.
do what?
Uh, it's very interesting seeing the comparison of specifically Vanguard to Crown Brass. It's because they're both doing 20th century like crunchy stuff. But I think because Vanguard, they're doing literally avant-garde for their entire show. Like there's very few times that they're having to be, I guess, tonal. Like they have their moments for sure, but they get to really dive in on like, okay, let's be as effective as we can. Where I feel like Crown, they have to switch back and forth a whole lot more. So we got to be the Crown staple. They got to make sure, hey, when we're playing tonal, it has got to be the most in tune thing.
Yeah.
But then also that leaves whenever they have that similar comparison of they're both playing crunchy chords, doing stuff like that.
Yeah.
Vanguard has more time doing it, and that might be what's causing some of the disparity.
Who knows? Well, we're running out of time, so we got to wrap this up. But it's been great doing this predictions, and we're gonna do more as we get closer to the season, some react videos and all the things. Be sure to go check out Battery Archive as always, Sally's Percussion, all the good things, and then we will see you very soon with a drum trophy prediction.
Oh yeah.
Stay tuned for that. So we'll see y'all in the next one.